Tonight, we're heading to a restaurant that many people consider to be a hidden gem. Toledo, located at Disney's Coronado Springs Resort in the Grand Destino Tower, is one of the few Disney restaurants that lands on the Michelin Guide. Serving up a Spanish menu filled with tapas and more, is this restaurant worth checking out on your next trip to Disney World? Let's go find out. I am so excited to be back at Coronado Springs. This is one of my favorite Disney resorts because they have some of the best food. I've dined at Toledo many times, so I'm gonna be sharing some of my favorite dishes with you, and we're gonna be trying some new things as well. Now, as of the time of recording, annual pass holders get 40% off of this restaurant. Yes, you heard that correctly. As a part of VI Pass Holder Summer Days, annual pass holders get 40% off of select restaurants Monday through Thursday. I'll show the list of participating restaurants on the screen right here. So, I definitely wanted to come take advantage of this insane deal, and I highly encourage you to as well if you're an annual pass holder. Since we are going to be getting such a steep discount, you already know we are going to be ordering a ton of food, and can we just appreciate how beautiful it is in here? I absolutely love the colorful tile work on the ceilings, the use of the fake trees. I don't know. This restaurant just really sets a certain vibe, and I feel like the vibe only enhances as it gets darker in here. As the night falls, it just gets more vibrant and really even more beautiful, if that's even possible. And you guys know I'm a sucker for a table with a view, and man, did we get a table with a view. We're right on the window here looking over Hollywood Studios. We could see the Chinese Theater, we could see Galaxy's Edge, we could see the show building for Rock and Roller Coaster, and we could also see the Tower of Terror. And look at this, Mom. First time in ages, the 40% discount bringing you back.
You know me, I like a bargain, so I'm all about a bargain.
Now, the only other time my mom has been here actually is years ago when we were kids and we used to come. We were on the dining plan and stuff, and we came, I remember we sat right over there at one of those circular tables actually, and they used to have this steak that was served with a beef fat candle. It was like a shareable steak and had a beef fat candle, and I remember loving it. Our first meal here was excellent, and I have to say, my other meals after that have just been okay. I've dined here a bunch since. I've dined in like the private dining room twice since then, and I've had some things that have been really good, and I've had some things that have just been okay. I particularly really enjoy a lot of the tapas and the appetizers. I think that's like the main highlight on the menu for me. The issue I've had personally has been with the entrees. Maybe I just have been ordering the wrong things, so we'll see. But overall, I just feel like this restaurant is maybe a little bit forgotten about. I know for me personally, as a local, whenever I'm talking with my friends about coming out to eat at Disney, we never really mention coming here to Toledo. It never really crosses our minds. And I feel like with you guys maybe coming on vacation as well, it's a little bit off the beaten path since there is no transportation other than a bus to get here to Coronado Springs. So I feel like it's a little bit forgotten about. But like I said, the setting is beautiful, the view is beautiful, and the tapas are delicious. So we're gonna take a look at the menu here. Starting with the beverages, we have a pretty extensive wine list here covering the front and back of this page, filled with a ton of different Spanish wines. And then on this page here, we've got a bunch of different specialty cocktails. Now they have some good gin and tonics, some good margaritas. I've had a lot of these. Oh, the sangria is quite good as well, but they also have an espresso martini that I quite enjoy. I actually don't see it on the menu here. It is on the menu online, but we might indulge in that a little bit later. Just kidding. It's on the bottom, but it's really good. So, like I said, we're gonna get that later. But like I have mentioned, the star of the show here at Toledo, for me at least, are the appetizers, the starters, the tapas. I think that is really where this restaurant shines. So let me show you the food. Right up top is where we'll start with that chorizo. Oh my gosh, it is so good, as is the pan con tomate. Probably, honestly, two of the best appetizers at Disney World. They also have a charred octopus, some marinated olives, a salad, some brick oven shrimp, which are delish, a seasonal gazpacho, and a chef's signature Spaniard cheese board for two. Moving on down, you'll see they have a dinner for two. It includes a bunch of different stuff for $155. You get a couple of different appetizers, a couple of different tapas, as well as that cheese When you order that dinner for two, you get to choose an entree, actually. So you could choose between a seafood paella, which is, I think that's new. I don't know if they've had that before. Or you could get the bone-in ribeye with your choice of two house sides. And then you also get to choose a dessert, either the Tapas bar or the Basque cheesecake, which that cheesecake is new as well. I think we might have to check that out for dessert. When it comes to the entrees, I know one of the more popular things to get is the filet. I haven't had good luck with it, so I don't know if I'm gonna get that this time. They also have a pork chop, a plancha seared salmon, some marinated lamb loin, filet of course. They have the Rioja braised chicken, a bone-in ribeye for two. So that's kind of like the ribeye that you get with the dinner for two, but you could just get the ribeye for two instead of doing the whole dinner with all the other stuff as well. And then they also have a vegan dish there, some beans. There's some enhancements, of course, some scallops or shrimp, and then some of the sides to choose from. Oh my gosh. Our starters have just arrived at the table, and the scents coming off of this table are truly incredible right now. We've got the garlicky shrimp. We've got the I could literally smell the freshness from the tomatoes, and I could smell the red wine from the chorizo. These are probably my three favorite starters on the menu, and I can't wait to eat them tonight. Someone's getting hangry over there and wants her little shrimpies. So we'll start with the shrimp. These are the gambas al ajiolio. They are brick oven shrimp with a garlic-infused olive oil, herbed butter, and toasted bread for $16. And look at that. You can see all of the butter, all of the fresh cloves of garlic. They've even got some chilies in there, which should add a little bit of a spice. Go ahead, Mom. Dig in there. Grab yourself a shrimp.
I get to go first.
I don't think there's any way anything with this amount of garlic can possibly be bad. The first thing I noticed was how tender the shrimp was. Can a shrimp even be tender? I don't know, but this shrimp was tender. Probably one of the most perfectly cooked shrimp I have ever eaten. As for the garlic flavor, it's delicious, and it's there. I think it smells more garlicky than it actually tastes, if that makes sense. It smells like it's going to be a little bit more garlicky than I almost wish it tasted a little bit more garlicky, but still that garlic butter flavor is really, really good. I wish it had a little kick of that spice. I might kind of break open one of those chilies and put it on my next shrimp, but man, you know what that would be really good served over? Some linguine.
Angel hair.
That'd be really some angel hair for you. Serve that over some linguine for me, and that would be delicious. Now they do have a brick oven just behind me where they're kind of cooking this shrimp there, and I feel like it does give it a little bit of a unique flavor. Whatever they're doing, they are cooking that shrimp perfectly. It is so good. The flavor is insane, and they gave us some toast to dunk in that garlic butter, so we gotta try that. So good. Even this bread is delicious. I'm going in for a double dunk. I'm double dipping into that garlic butter. And although I always say my mother is a picky eater, if there is one thing she absolutely loves, it's a buttery, garlicky shrimp. How are these ones?
These are excellent. Like you said, they are tender because sometimes shrimp is not cooked well. They are so good that I cut it to eat it, and I actually cut the tail apart to get the rest of the meat because it was so tasty.
Moving on from the shrimp, next up we're going to try this Rioja braised chorizo. This is a Spanish-style sausage with Rioja wine and onions for $15. Now, similar to the shrimp, this is cooked in that wood-fired oven there. You can see the dish. And this is another thing that I cannot come to Toledo and not get. And if I'm remembering correctly, I feel like they downsized the portion of the tomato bread, which we'll get to in just a moment, and they upped the portion of this chorizo. I never remember there being this much chorizo in this bowl, but I am certainly not complaining. What I love about this dish is the really rich red wine flavor that comes through. The red wine flavor in this dish just makes it, along with the onions. The onions are so soft in there, they almost get a little bit like sweet, and it just all pairs so well with that chorizo because the chorizo is just soaking in that red wine and those onions, and it's flavoring the chorizo perfectly. Mom, I know I told you that this chorizo wasn't spicy, but I feel like they might have changed up the chorizo they use because this chorizo does have a little bit of a kick to it, which is perfect for me. And I know I said I don't come here a lot with friends, and it's not really a place that we seek out and we forget about a lot, but the handful of times that I have come here with my friends, I've come here with Sean and Nate maybe like twice, and we always get this appetizer and we fight over the last couple pieces of this chorizo because that's how much we all love it. Just like with the shrimp, we're also served some toast on the side with our chorizo, so we've got to build a bite. Again, we've got to get, actually, we're going to go for a dunk first because we got to soak all those juices up with the toast. We've got to put our chorizo and our onions just on top. There we go. Similar to the shrimp, the way this toast just soaks up that sauce, unreal. Another must-order starter. Moving on to our third must-order starter, the pan con tomate. This has crushed tomato, garlic, olive oil on charred bread for $12. All right, my mom wants to cheers our tomato bread.
We already know we love this.
We do already know we love this. This is like the most simplest dish you can possibly make, but it is so dang fresh and done so well that it is just perfect. Absolutely no notes. It is so garlicky. You could taste that fresh olive oil coming through, and the tomatoes just taste like the freshest, most ripest tomatoes. Like they were literally picked yesterday from a garden in Spain and just crushed right there with a ton of olive oil and garlic. What I think sets this tomato bread apart from others is the quality of the bread. I think the quality of the bread, it's the same toast that they're serving up with the shrimp, with the chorizo. I think it is fantastic bread, and it just pairs so perfectly with the tomatoes.
Truth be told, I don't like tomatoes. I never eat them in a salad. I pick them out. But whatever they do to this, I love this. I think the reason it's so good is because they crush it so much that it's like unrecognizable, and then the combination of the garlic and the olive oil, I don't know, it's just, I love this, and I have tried this at Jaleo, and this is 10 times better than that one. I like that one, but this one is just outstanding.
As we're waiting for our entrees, it's crazy. A storm just rolled in, and you could actually, I don't know if you can see, but it's storming really bad on the other side of the restaurant. And then out here, it just started storming. We've got this is really cozy for the rainstorm, actually. This is super cozy up here during the rain. While we're enjoying the storm here and waiting for our entrees, let me tell you why I don't always like the entrees here. Oh my gosh. A huge bee. That thing is like an inch long. The bee has been handled. Okay, back to
enjoy our meal.
Back to why I don't care for the entrees here. Maybe it's in part because the starters are so great, but I feel like I always order the filet. I always want to order the steak for two, but I never have anyone that wants to do it with me, and I'm not going to just order the whole steak by myself. My mom was going to do it, but then something else stood out to me. But I always end up ordering the filet, and I don't know why I do it every time, because every time I feel like it tastes like a hamburger patty to me. And I could just be coming on off days. I have no idea. Someone else let me know if you have had that experience. But every time I have ordered it, it just doesn't taste like a good quality filet to me. So, I don't know. The starters are my favorite, but we are waiting for our entrees now. I ordered something different this time around. I ordered the pork chop, and this actually looks really good. It has a spinach fonduta, secreto, a potato veloute, and crispy chorizo for $34. And you might be noticing, on the side here, we also got a little enhancement of the scallops, and I must say, these are a lot smaller than I expected. I mean, it was only $12, so it was a pretty cheap enhancement for scallops, but man, these are are tiny. These aren't even the size of the fork. They're like half the size of the fork. 3 really tiny scallops. But the rest of this dish looks really quite good, I must say. You can see it's on top of that spinach there. We've got that crispy chorizo on top. Our pork chop looks quite big, quite thick, and the chef recommended to get it prepared medium, so that's just what I did. Let's try a mini scallop first. The top has a nice crust to it. This is a 1-bite scallop. Usually you like cut the scallop. No, this is a 1-bite. While I like the crust on top, it really doesn't have much flavor whatsoever. I'm not even really tasting any salt, any pepper, and it's definitely a little bit overcooked and chewy. It was only $12. It's going to be even less with our 40% discount. That's why I kind of decided to splurge and try them out. But if you're coming here, I would not recommend getting the scallop enhancement. But let's cut into our pork here. Now, this pork chop does have a bone in it. It's a bone-in pork chop, and we've got all our sauces down here. Let's take it off of the spinach there. Cut ourselves off a little piece. It's got a nice char, nice little crust on it. I hope it's not too dry. I hope it's nice and juicy on the inside. I don't know. I can't tell if it's going to be. Let's see if I could break the bad entree streak at Toledo. I sure hope so, because the rest of the meal has been so good so far. Okay, this pork chop seasoned well. I like the crust on the outside. It has a good brick oven flavor. I feel like they're probably cooking this pork chop in that brick oven that they cook the shrimp, that they cook the chorizo in, because it has that similar kind of charred flavor, which I think is good. It also has like a ring of fat around the outside, which I think pairs really well. It adds a level of juiciness. It looked like it might have been a little bit dry, but it's not dry, and it has almost a Parmesan-like flavor. I feel like that might be from the spinach fonduta underneath. I feel like they might have a little bit of Parmesan or something, some type of sharp cheese in there with the spinach that's adding a little bit of flavor to the pork as well, since it was on top of that. The spinach itself looks very unappetizing, I must admit. But I do enjoy spinach, and there's a lot of spinach on this plate. This had to be like 3 bags of spinach, honestly, like wilted down. This is a lot of spinach. Let's try it out. I don't know what it is about that, but there's some flavor in that I do not enjoy. And I love spinach, and I love creamed spinach. But there's something in there that's a little unpleasant. I can't really pinpoint what it is. Yeah. I was so excited for the spinach part because I felt like it was a really unique side. But no, back to the pork here. And it came with some crispy chorizo on top. So why don't we get a little bit of chorizo, a little bit of crispy chorizo with this next bite here. And this crispy chorizo reminds me of when you used to get like pepperoni or salami and put it in the microwave and like make it crispy when I was a kid. My mom wouldn't make me lunch or something. I would just crisp up some salami or pepperoni. That's what it reminds me of. That crispy chorizo pairs so well with the pork chop there. I love that combo. You got to get a little bit of the chorizo with every bite of the pork chop. We're going to try a little bit of my mom's dish as well. She decided to go with the filet of beef. This has forest mushrooms, a red wine date demi, and truffle vinaigrette for $41. Mom, you just had the first bite of filet. I guess my main question is, does it taste like a hamburger patty?
It kind of does. I don't. Maybe it's like it almost tastes like the barbecue, like the grill, like the charcoal. It does. It's so bizarre.
All right, cut me off a piece there, preferably from the more redder part, because I know you won't like that. Give me a red piece. Let's see if my hamburger patty theory stands. I don't know. It tastes like a hamburger. I got hamburgers fresh on my mind too. We just had a nice little MDW BBQ. So I just had a hamburger, and I gotta say, that tastes exactly like the hamburger I ate over Memorial Day weekend. I don't know, and I know this is like a cheaper filet when it comes to dining at Disney. The steak does only cost you $41. So for a filet at Disney, that is on the cheaper side. So I will give them that. It's not an expensive filet here. But still, I just feel like it's the quality of the steak. I don't know. You guys will have to let me know if you've dined here and you've had this filet. Am I crazy, or does this taste like a hamburger? One thing on that plate though that does look delicious are these mashed potatoes. As soon as that plate got put down, I was like, yeah, those look creamy and dreamy. And they are, wow. Those are some delicious mashed potatoes. Almost a little cheesy. They used to do like a manchego mashed potato. I don't know if they still put manchego in there, but those are really good. They're super buttery and creamy. Okay, so the filet is a miss. The pork chop I enjoyed. However, I just feel like the entrees leave a lot to be desired. Still, I think the appetizers, the starters here are so phenomenal and so good that I expect to be wowed by the entrees as well, and every time I'm just not. So let me know if I'm ordering the wrong thing. Let me know what you guys order entree-wise when you come here. Maybe I'm just ordering the wrong thing, but the starters, literally a 10 out of 10, a 11 out of 10. The entrees, pork chop, it's okay, but it's just nothing to write home about when you compare it to the appetizers. It's espresso martini time and dessert time. We're gonna take a look over the dessert menu here. They have this Basque cheesecake, which I have had my eye on, the classic Toledo Tapas bar dessert, which is like a bunch of different dessert flavors in one. They have this, what is this, a classic crema catalina? Sounds interesting. They also have a chocolate ganache tart and a cafe con leche chew. Our desserts have come out and they are looking very good, and as good as our cheesecake is looking. I also ordered an espresso martini for dessert. We're gonna try this first. This has Stoli vanilla vodka, creme de cacao, a white chocolate liqueur, simple syrup, and espresso for $15.50. It's dark. There are only 2 beans, which I feel like there's either one hiding under the foam or they just forgot to add a bean, and it looks good. I think I've had this before and I really enjoyed it, so cheers, guys. It is delicious. Definitely getting a little bit of that chocolate flavor coming through, but not too much to where it's too sweet. Strong espresso flavor, really strong espresso flavor. I like that a lot. Really smooth. It's an easy sipper. I'm pretty sure this here is the same espresso martini that they serve at the Dahlia Lounge. I've only ever gotten it here in Toledo, and every time I've gotten it, it has been really good. I know this is a lot of people's even #1 espresso martini at Disney World, and I totally get the hype. I think it is really good. I'm not quite sure if it cracks my personal top 5 list, but I'd say it's just outside of the top 5 for me. It's certainly top 10 for sure, and just outside of the top 5. I know they also have one downstairs in the Barcelona Lounge that's like the coffee bar / turns into a bar at night. That's supposedly really good. I don't know if it's the same one that they serve up here at the Dahlia Lounge in Toledo. You guys will have to let me know, but I need to try that one too. But now for the Basque cheesecake. This has a honey vanilla sauce, almond crunch, a honey quince glazed seasonal fruit, white chocolate chantilly cream, and a hibiscus tule for $10. Now, usually I would go for the tapas bar here. I think that's their classic dessert, and I think it's really good. However, this Basque cheesecake really stood out to me for a couple of reasons. They have a Basque cheesecake over at Jaleo that I tried, and I really enjoyed that. It was my first time having it. I thought it was delicious, so I wanted to have it for a second time. And then also I saw it had some type of almond kind of vibe to it. And my favorite dessert of all time is the almond crusted cheesecake from over at Narcoossee's at the Grand Floridian. So I was like, okay, we've got another almond cheesecake on property. I gotta see if it gives it some competition. So I'm excited to try this out. This cheesecake is so light. It's almost like a whipped cheesecake. in how light it is. Like, it's not heavy like a New York style cheesecake, and I love that burnt flavor from the top that it's giving. I think the almond also adds a great, almost salty flavor to this. I think it's delicious. Do I think it's better than the almond crusted cheesecake at Narcoossee's? No, but it's still really good. I would definitely come and get this again. I like it a lot. Well, here it is, our final check after the 40% annual pass holder discount. We saved $56. That's insane. We have made it back down to the beautiful lobby in the Grand Destino Tower, and dinner was quite tasty, but I don't think my thoughts on Toledo have changed from before I dined here tonight. I still think Toledo is a prime spot for some delicious appetizers, some amazing cocktails, some amazing views, some amazing vibes, and even some really good dessert. I just think they fall really short in the entree category. But I do think everything else is so good at this restaurant that it honestly doesn't even matter. I'll keep going back to that restaurant, just ordering a bunch of appetizers, and I'll be happy with that. And honestly, at this point, you cannot beat that 40% discount. Remember, it is only Monday through Thursday, and Toledo is actually closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, so there are only 2 days that you could redeem this 40% off discount through the month of June. You could only do it on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and reservations are kind of hard to come by on Wednesdays and Thursdays, but I definitely recommend you try and find one if you are an annual pass holder. Get that 40% off discount. Go all out on the apps, on the desserts and stuff. You don't get the 40% off discount on alcohol or anything, but it's such a good deal. But let me know what you guys think. Are you a Toledo fan or not? Let me know down below in the comments. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you to everyone over on Patreon for supporting the channel. If you enjoy honest Disney food reviews, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.